Hey guys, it's Dan and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Welcome to another Financial Friday. I hope you all are doing very well and I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving if that's what you celebrate. But today's video is a video about paying off debt or what to do if you're in debt. I got this comment from 17th Century Girl and I thought it was a great place to start because I know that there's a lot of us that will have to deal with debt or we are currently in debt and having to deal with it. And I've had to deal with a lot of debt myself and pay it off. So I figured it would be a good idea to hop on here and kind of let you guys know the kind of debts that I was and am in and what I'm doing and what I did do to get out of them. So let's get started. So the debts that I had were student loan and credit card debts. And those are probably the most common that a lot of people have in this day and age, because most of us go to school and a lot of us use credit cards and we don't really use them very responsibly. So how did I go into debt with these? For the student loans, obviously I went to school and I was not able to get any help from my family. My family really isn't financially smart and couldn't give me the best or really any good advice when it came to it. I love my family to death, but they are not financially capable. My family's advice was take out everything that you can in case you need it. Well, now looking back on it, that is not the best mindset or the best tactic to really go into student loans. I didn't really know any better until, of course, like my sophomore, junior year of college. And by then it was a little too late. I was kind of in a pretty deep hole and couldn't do much about it. And when it came to credit cards, while I was in school, essentially my last year or so, I wasn't really able to work as much as I wanted to. I was limited on hours that I could work, and that's not only by my job, but also by school. Both of them kind of limited me, where I was already trying to do as much as I could and getting in trouble for working as much as I was. And I was really limited on the amount of money that I could make. And I needed those credit cards in order to live because I had my whole paycheck essentially go to rent. And this was as everything started just getting super, super, super expensive, where I couldn't really afford to put gas in my tank. It was sifting through everything I possibly could just to be able to go and eat. And my only options were to use my credit card, which was a very, very stupid thing to do. But I think a lot of us have had to be in that situation or may have to go into that situation at some point in the future. Sometimes you just have to make ends meet, and you know it's not the best decision, but it's the only decision that you have. So that's what put me into these debts. And with these debts hanging over me like a pouring rain cloud, what did I do? Well, first and foremost, once I graduated, I knew I was going to be getting a new job. And it had already been talked about because it was at the place that I was working at currently. I was a part-time person at my university's mechanic shop for all the vehicles that the university owns. And my assistant manager was getting ready to go into basic training, and they had wanted me to come and do that because while he was gone, I already knew everything, all of the systems, how it all worked, and had worked with these people before at a previous job. So they understood that I knew what I was doing, how to do it, how to go about it. And I already had the skill sets and everything for it. And the second he left, I had graduated and they put me in that position. And that position doubled the amount of hours that I was working and almost doubled the amount of pay that I was getting. So that helped enormously trying to pay off those balances. The second thing I did was I balance transferred any possible debt that I could to a credit card that had a 0% balance transfer fee or like 0% interest for over a year. And I took all of that debt that was charging me 15, 20, 25% interest on a credit card and put that on another one that was charging me 0% so that that balance wouldn't keep getting bigger. And that's what I did with the credit card debt and anything that I possibly could put on there. Everything else that I couldn't balance transfer, I did a combination of two things. I did the debt snowball, and then I also looked at the interest rates and kind of figured out my plan of attack from there. And that's what I'm currently working on when it comes to my student loans, because I don't have quite enough to just pay those off in full, and it's going to take a lot more time to get that taken care of. Like I said, I did not have the best financial advice growing up, and that's why I'm here to help you guys, because I don't want you getting stuck in the situation that I was. And The way that I went about the debt snowball interest rate was I took all of my lowest balances and everything that I had, essentially, wrote them all out, wrote the total amount that they were for, the interest rates, minimum payments, and things like that. From there, I went and did the smallest one with the highest interest rate and kind of worked myself up there and just kind of set it up to where I'm paying the smallest one that I possibly can and using that minimum payment to the next one that has a higher interest rate and working my way down from there. So I'm saving money on interest as well as doing a form of the debt snowball, because the debt snowball is you take your smallest balance, you pay that off, and then you move to the next smallest and you're making minimums on all of them and just kind of taking everything from the last one you paid off and putting it on that next one and so on and so forth. So that was kind of what I'm doing with the student loans, and I think it's been working pretty good. And with me saying that it was working pretty good, it took me almost a year to get the balance transferred cards paid off because I was still paying for my livelihood, everything's still expensive, and I had that. But luckily, since they weren't earning interest, I was able to make big payments on them and use the debt snowball there, where I paid off the smallest amount that I could. I, of course, took care of the credit cards. Anything that I couldn't transfer over, I paid those off first and then worked on the balance transfer debt since that wasn't growing, and took all that out, and that took about a year. And I almost started to see progress right away because I saw that the interest totals that I was earning on the credit cards were dwindling down because I was paying that debt and just killing it right away. And then moving to the balance transfer card, since that wasn't growing every single paycheck, I was seeing that get smaller and smaller and smaller until it inevitably went away. And now I'm starting to work on those student loans and getting rid of those. So I was seeing progress immediately, and I believe you will too. And I think that's probably the best way to go about any debt that you have is take the smallest amount, and then if you have some pretty small ones, figure out which one's interest is the highest and start attacking that one, and then move to the next, into the next, into the next, into the next as you're going up. And get rid of those, because interest is where most of your money goes. If you can get rid of the interest and start attacking that principal, you are way better off. I know that I still have a lot of debt, like my student loans, to take care of, but I want to see some progress with those. If anyone wants to make a donation and help that go away, I would love you forever. But with me making constant payments on those, I am starting to see those balances go down. I'm trying to figure out some things to do because I want them to go down a little bit faster, but we'll just kind of have to see what happens there. But yeah, you guys, if you're in debt, I would really recommend, of course, if you're in credit card debt, trying to do balance transfers to 0% interest on those cards and moving that balance over so that you aren't just getting raked over the coals with interest. And then anything else that you can't figure out a way to get 0% interest on, calculate the most expensive one or the highest interest rate on one and the smallest amount, and kind of going from there and attacking those and working your way up until they are gone. Debt is something that really, really sucks, but a lot of us are going to have to deal with it at some point in our lives. Hopefully, a lot of you don't have to deal with as much student debt, or at least no credit card debt like I have. But if you do, I think these are some great steps to knock that out. But I know a lot of us really want to own homes, and that's going to be a big debt that we're going to have to take care of and figure out a way to pay that with all of our expenses. And it's just going to be a stressful situation, but I believe in you. And I know that by continuing to watch these videos, you're going to learn the skills and everything that you need in order to be financially educated, smart, and capable of taking care of it all. But yeah, you guys, I hope this video was at least informative or entertaining to you. If you did enjoy, let me know down in the comment section down below, as well as by hitting that like button. And if you have an idea or recommendation for the next video, I would love to hear it. Shoot me a message or comment in the comment section down below. And who knows, you might get featured in the next video. But with that all being said, you guys, my name is Dan, and I will catch you all in the next video. See ya.